Today's show brought to you by redcon1.com. That's right. Click the link at the bottom of the podcast app in which you are listening to this on. Check them out. Use promo code T20 Quartermiss. That's right. redcon1.com.
There's nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I am 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. Lee.
Coming to you from the DTOM Studios in the free state of Florida, sponsored by Maker's Mark Bourbon. This is Don't Tread on Merica. Come on. Alrighty, guys, we're going to try this again. It's Monday, October 6th, 2025, and what I mean by that is I actually recorded this show yesterday, on Sunday. Then when I went in to do editing and post the show, half of it was gone. I'd be right in the middle of something, and then furthermore, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. You know, and it was like, what the fuck? What the hell happened? I don't know if it's the subject matter, if they're watching me, but I made sure I turned on my VPN today, so hopefully we won't have any issues. So we'll have to see. So anyway, guys, welcome to the show. A couple things real quick. Make sure you follow the show on whatever social media app you're on. Social media on Facebook, Instagram, True Social, or the Ticker Talker, Don't Tread on America. Of course, on the Ticker Talker, it is DTOM Podcast 1776. If you want to email me, you can hit me up, DonQ at DontTreadonMerica.com. And, of course, the website is DontTreadonMerica.com. And another favor, guys, please make sure, whatever podcast app you're listening to this on, that you're following the show, you're subscribed, whatever that button is there. The show's free. I don't charge anything. I'm not doing Patreons. I'm not doing that shit. I just need you guys to listen. And then I need you guys to share. And then what I need you to do is if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, hook me up with a review, 5-star rating preferably. But we're going to crank it up right now. We're going to get the show started with some damn Yankees. Don't Tread on America version, courtesy of one Ted Theodore Nugent. It is Monday. You might need this after a long work day. I was actually off today, but nonetheless. I'm going to crank this up and get this show going. Follow the show on Rumble, Don't Tread on America TV. Sing along if you know the words. You should know them by now. Here we go. Sing along, come on. Merica. Merica, come on. America. All right, guys. Welcome, truth seekers, skeptics, and fellow travelers down the rabbit hole. This is, of course, Don't Tread on America, the podcast where we just don't scratch the surface. We drill straight through the bedrock of deception. Of course, I'm your host, Donq, the guy who's been chasing shadows since before the internet learned to lie. And today, we're going full throttle into one of the most enduring, mind-bending conspiracies in modern history. The Manchurian Candidate. Picture this. A war hero, a politician, your neighbor, programmed like a wind-up toy, waiting for that one phrase, that one flash of light to turn them into an unwitting killer or puppet. Fiction? Sure, it started out that way, but what if I told you the blueprint was drawn from a real black ops, and today, in 2025, it's not just soldiers or assassins, it's presidents, CEOs, and maybe even the algorithm feeding your feed. We're talking brainwashing, mind control, and the deep state's wet dream of turning free will into a glitchy app. This episode, we're going to dive into a lot of shit here, guys. We're going to trace the roots, unearth the declassified horrors, connect the dots to assassinations that shaped our world, and zoom into the now. AI triggers, nanochips, and why your next mass shooting might be a firmware update. Buckle up, because we're not stopping for air. And yes, we'll hit those commercial breaks, because even conspiracies need sponsors to stay alive. So I encourage you to grab your favorite drink. You can see I have mine. Yesterday when I did this, I actually was drinking water, because we were heading to Disney. And anyway, but today I'm just winding up my day, and I'm about to go to bed here. So we're going to knock this show out. I got me a nice big glass of whiskey. We'll start the show here in just a minute, guys. Get prepared, because it's going to be interesting. Hang tight. All right, guys, let's start where it all began. Not in a lab or a bunker, but in the fevered imagination of a satirist who nailed the paranoia of his time. Richard Gondon's 1959 God damn it, can I not talk? 1959 novel, The Cold War Soul of America. Our hero? No, anti-hero, Raymond Shaw, a Korean War POW brainwashed by Chinese and Soviet spooks into a sleeper assassin. His trigger? A game of solitaire. One queen of diamonds, and boom, he's a gun in someone else's hands. Is it really going to give me a commercial? Motherfucking music just started. Are you fucking kidding me? You gotta love royalty-free suspense music that we're using. Can't get 2 seconds in the fucking show, and then we got a goddamn fucking commercial. Jeez Louise. So anyway, how y'all doing out there today? I'll get back to it in a minute. I want to have this music going so I can read my shit here. Let's go, commercial. We don't care. Yeah, we're back. Fucking shit. Alright. Condon, a Hollywood strip doctor turned novelist, wove this tale from the headlines of the era. Remember the Korean War, 1950 to 1953? I was 27 back then. I'm joking. I was not even alive. I think my dad was a baby. When Uncle Sam lost 36,000 boys and came home with stories of brainwashing. POWs confessing to germ warfare, spouting communist propaganda like it was the gospel. The media ate it up. Time magazine ran covers screaming thought control. And the public? terrified that Mao and Stalin had cracked the code to the human mind. But here's the kicker. The title nods to Manchuria, that powder keg in northeast China where Japan faked the Mukden incident in 1931, a staged explosion to justify invading the whole damn country. False flags, manufactured crisis, Condon saying, "Hey America, your enemy's not just at the gates, they're rewiring your brain from the inside." Then comes the 1962 film. John Frankenheimer directs, Frank Sinatra stars as the haunted vet piecing it together. Lawrence Harvey as Shaw, cold, detached, a perfect patsy, shot in stark black and white with dream sequences that twist your gut. Released just weeks before the Cuban Missile Crisis, it hit like a psychological nuke. Sinatra's character even quotes JFK's profile in Courage. Coincidence? JFK loved the script. He greenlit it when United Artists balked. And after Dallas in '63, the film vanished from circulation for years, pulled by Sinatra out of respect or something darker. Rumors swirled, too close to Oswald, the lone nut who defected to Russia and came back changed. But let's not romanticize. Condon called it satire, a jab at McCarthyism, with the villainous Senator Iselin as Joe McCarthy character. His wife, a Lady Macbeth with communist strings, the real Manchurian Candidate, not the assassin, but the power-hungry fool installed in his wake. Fiction mirroring the fear. Schreiber, now it's the Reds. It's Manchurian Global, a megacorp using Gulf War trauma and nanotech. Prophetic? In 2025, with Neuralink trials and Big Pharma's grip, yeah. But back then, it was warning us. The enemy isn't a flag. It's a balance sheet. Why does this stick? Because it taps the you. And folks, that's not the end of the original story. That's not the end of the origin story. That's the spark. But next, we light the fuse with the real mad scientists that inspired it. But before we crack open the CIA's dirty laundry, a word from our sponsors. Hey, DTOM listeners, in a world where hackers lurk in every shadow, your data's on the line. Ever feel that chill when you're streaming your favorite shows on public Wi-Fi, or wondering who's peeking at your bank app? That's the internet without armor. But what if I told you... but what if you could vanish online like a ghost? Enter NordVPN, the ultimate shield for your digital life. With lightning-fast servers in over 60 countries, NordVPN encrypts your connection, blocks trackers, and lets you binge Netflix from everywhere without a glitch. No throttling, no logs, just pure unstoppable privacy. Whether you're dodging geo-blocks or outsmarting snoops, NordVPN's got your back. Trusted by millions worldwide. Right now, lock in 2 years of ironclad protection for pennies on the dollar. That's up to 76% off. Head to NordVPN.com, use promo code DTOM at checkout. Don't just connect, conquer the web. NordVPN, freedom starts. We'll be back in just a second. All right, guys. If the novel was the dream, MK Ultra was the nightmare they tried to make real. Launched in 1953 by CIA Director Allen Dulles, yes, the same guy who orchestrated coups like they were poker games, MK Ultra was the agency's $10 million bet on cracking the human mind. Over 150 sub-projects, 80 institutions, unwitting suspects, prisoners, junkies, college kids, Even agency staff dosed without consent. The goal? Not just truth serums for interrogations. No, they wanted programmable people. Hypnosis to implant false memories. LSD to shatter egos. Remember Operation Midnight Climax? CIA safe houses in San Francisco where hookers lured marks for acid-laced drinks. Observed through two-way mirrors. Ewan Cameron at McGill University. Psychic driving. Strap patients into chairs, blast loop tapes, "You're a bad mother," while pumping them with electroshock and barbiturates. The goal? Wipe the slate. Rebuild the slave. Declassified in the 70s after Frank Church's hearings, but only 20,000 docs survived a 1973 shed fest ordered by Richard Helms. What we know, Project Artichoke, MK Ultra's angry uncle, tested terminal experiments, hypno assassins who forgot their skills, borrowed from Nazi docs via Operation Paperclip, Pavlovian bells for humans, ring the trigger, cue the carnage. John Mark's 1979 book, The Search for the Manchurian Candidate, named after Condon's novel, lays it bare. Dulles devoured the book, saw it as a how-to for countering thought reform. But did it work? Science says nah. Hypnosis can't override ethics long term, but trauma, drugs, isolation, that's where disassociation kicks in. Multiple personalities as firewalls for commands. That's weird. And the ties to assassins? Sirhan, RFK's killer, claimed hypnosis amnesia. Witnesses, a polka dot dress girl fleeing, yelling, "We shot him." Hypno-programming? His lawyer thought so. Mark David Chapman, Catcher in the Rye as his quote-unquote Bible, a common MK trigger text per survivors. Oswald, defected to the USSR, trained CIA handlers, possibly. Cut to 2025. Jesse Ventura's old episode resurfaces on YouTube. Him grilling survivors claiming revived programs. And Twitter is ablaze. Posts linking recent shooters to SSRIs and algorithms. Digital MK Ultra. One user says, psychosis formation via online worlds. Sleepers triggered by memes. Is it statecraft or just broken brains? But we'll circle back to that. But here's the politically incorrect truth. If MK Ultra proves anything, it's that power doesn't trust the people. Elites see us as wetware to hack. And in the post-Snowden world, with Palantir and Prism, who's to say it's stopped? Monarch program rumors, trauma-based control for sex slaves and assets. Epstein, ring a bell, is ground zero. So imagine the ethics. 8,000 pages of horrors, yet no prosecutions. Why? Because the real Manchurian is the system itself. Now, let's pivot to the hits that hit a little too close to home. History littered with lone nuts, but what if they're loaded guns? JFK, November 22nd, 1963. Oswald, a Marine, Russian defector, back with a wink from Intel. Hypnosis sessions documented. Rumors his handler, David Attell Phillips, a CIA PSYOPs chief, admitted Oswald was the patsy. The Warren Commission, the one-bullet magic trajectory, but Manchurian vibes, the film's conventional scene mirrors Dallas's footage. It's a little too on the nose. Then you go to RFK in 1968, Sirhan, a Palestinian grudge, but blank stare, no recall. Note in his pocket saying RFK must die. Handwriting, it's not his. Then you had the polka dot girl. Handlers? The court dismissed, but in 2021 parole hearing, he still swears amnesia. Then you have Chapman with Lenin in 1980. Quotes the catcher obsessively. The MK script post-kill. Surrendered with eerie calm like another fucking commercial. Alright, we're just not going to have fucking music. I can't deal with this shit. MK Ultra script post-kill surrendered with eerie calm like Shaw after the trigger. CIA ties. Lenin's FBI file was thicker than Warhol's ego. Deeper cuts. We go a little deeper here. We have Reagan in 81. Hinckley had family ties to the Bushes. Coincidence? Or a pattern? Ventura's show claims revival. Experts warn of programmed citizens. And don't get me started on 9/11, the dancing Israelis or anthrax mailers, sleeper cells, or sleepwalkers. Chaos as cover. Patsies as proof. But history's prologue is 2025. The sequel? Let's get this last break out of the way, guys. Alright, guys. Are you tired of flavorless nicotine hits that leave you hanging? It's time to level up with Alp nicotine pouches, the freshest, boldest smoke-free alternative out there, created by real users like you. Not some boardroom suits. We're talking perfectly moist pouches that deliver smooth, consistent nicotine every time. No tobacco, no mess, just pure satisfaction. Pack your tin with 20 pouches. That's 5 more than the competition. And killer flavors like chilled mint, mountain wintergreen, or refreshing chill tropical fruit. And of course, spearmint, new, guys. It's new. You see I'm down to my last 2 cans here. I've already gone through 3. Do I have a problem? I don't think so. Anyway, choose your strength in 3, 6, or 9 milligrams. And here's the real deal. Every Alp pouch you pop supports real causes, not political games. We're kicking off the multi-million-dollar seed donation to Charlie Kirk's family through GiveSendGo. Join the movement at GiveSendGo.com/ in loving memory of Charlie. Better products, better experience, a better world. That's the Alp way. Grab your combo pack, all flavors, no regrets. And right now, if you go to alppouch.com/DTOM, you get 20% off your first order. So that's Alp, of course, making every dip a better time. What are you waiting for? alppouch.com/DTOM. Alp, a better time. All right, we're back. We're going musicless, guys. Going musicless. Maybe. I'll turn it back on again. Fuck it. I'll just turn it down. All right, guys. Fast forward to now. September 28th, 2025. The Cold War's thawed, but the chill's digital. Trump, still the poster boy for post-alleged 2024 win. Twitter erupts. Is he a Manchurian for Putin? Teal? Mueller 2.0 whispers. You have the Epstein tapes surfaced. One post on Twitter. Trump as a plant to gut the GOP. Projection or playbook? Then you look at Biden's declassified FBI. A China-rigged 2020 via Smartmatic. Manchurian Joe per experts. Obama? Moscow's campus theory. KGB grooming. Then we have J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel's boy. A sleeper for Silicon Valley. Then Keir Starmer. If you look at the Czech files, he's a communist plant. I have this post from Twitter here. From the Concerned Citizen, Node is a confirmed asset for leaking suppressed intelligence files. This Czechoslovakian state security archive is a smoking gun, proving UK leader Keir Starmer is a deep cover communist sleeper agent. Groomed during the Cold War, his entire career has been a long-time infiltration, and he's now been activated to complete the destruction of Britain. Starmer is a high-level NPC and a Manchurian Candidate program by the reality programmers decades ago for the fall of the West. Would explain some things that's going on over there. You know, when we talk about these things, a lot of what I'm discussing is American-based, but this is a world problem. When we say the deep state, or when I say the deep state, I'm not referring to necessarily just in America. We say global elites. When you hear that on this show and other shows, and we say global elites, it's something darker and much deeper here. And any political leader or political influencer that gets in their way, they're going to take out. Shootings, Colorado high school, Charlie Kirk hit. Neo-Nazi radicalization, but Twitter screams MK Ultra. The Dallas ICE shooter, sleeper cells, nanochips. Chinese coder leaks. Bill Gates funded brain BCIs, which is brain controlling interface controlling masses. University psyops incite via campuses. Algorithms as triggers. Social media as the MK Ultra 2.0. Epstein networks. Mind-controlled influencers. Harvard Gazette. Brainwashing lives in AI cults. The Thread. Oligarchs, not nations. Thiel, Gates, Putin. Hacking democracy. So, is it real or is it Memorex? No. Is it real or a rabbit hole? MK Ultra is proven. Don't believe me? You can go to CIA.gov and look up the Manchurian Candidate assassins. Suggestive, not a slam dunk, but then you go to the modern portion of this. Nanotech fears, fringe, but algorithms? Undeniable echo chambers. So, humans, we know this, humans break easy. Stockholm cults prove it. But full programming? Sci-fi stretch, yet in polarized 2025, we're all partial Manchurians, triggered by feeds, not cards. If true, the elites already own us. The surveillance as salvation, but evidence gaps breed doubt. As one Twitter user put, absent gangster state, but psychosis via pixels. So, now this is what we're looking at. And I'm going to try and remember how I put this yesterday. And one of my questions was, we're looking at, say, nanotechnology. Now, some people, and we talked about this on this show when Chris was still on the show, about the COVID jabs and the stuff that was in these COVID jabs. Remember, we talked about the different metals that were in this. And we talked on, if you're a long-time listener of the show, you may recall this. I mean, this is, I don't even know how many shows I've done. I've done over 500 shows. But if you've been a long-time listener, if you go back, and you've probably heard other shows talk about this, but with the 5G situation, the nanoparticles that were in the COVID vaccine, how many people throughout the world, just random people, that got this vaccine? And I asked the question, I would be curious to know if in recent time, if you look at these would-be assassins, whether we're talking about Crooks, who's gone, who tried to kill Trump, Ryan Ruth, you look at Tyler Robinson, assuming he's the actual guy. You look at these different things. The Japanese prime minister that was killed a few years back. You have these different situations, the different world leader attempted assassinations. How many of those individuals, I'm curious, and we'll never know the answer, but I'm curious to know how many of those folks were vaccinated, double, triple, quadruple vaccinated, and really had that stuff pumping through their blood, that maybe they could be controlled via algorithms or certain situations. Because, I mean, face it, when most of us are scrolling social media, whether it's TikTok or Snapchat or whatever, you're on your phone, which is operating off of 5G. So if you're a multi-dosed person, you very well could be an assassin in waiting. Because we're told that a lot of the stuff that we see online is triggering people. We hear that word all the time. It's triggering these people. Now you go back to the 80s, the 70s, 60s, and whatever. Obviously that technology wasn't around, but every one of those assassins that killed Lenin and MLK and Malcolm X, Kennedy brothers, we already had a backstory on them before we even knew what happened. We don't even get that now. With the technology we have now, with the information that is available to us, we don't know hardly anything about these people. And it's interesting. You look at, say, Oswald, for example, allegedly killed Kennedy, and then went to the movies, because that's normal for someone to kill somebody and then go to the movies, let alone the president. And the whole Officer Tippit situation, where Oswald killed Officer Tippit. Now, it is of some people's thought process, and this is something that Chris believes truly, is that Officer Tippit might have been Oswald's handler. And then he was sent to find Oswald and probably kill him to shut him up. That's a possibility. Maybe Oswald got the jump on him, because he surely was killed shortly thereafter, right? But then you look at, the dude, Chapman, the guy that killed Lenin, kills Lenin, sits down on the side of the road right there, and just waits to be arrested. Hinckley, I was doing this for Jodie Foster, or whatever, I don't recall exactly his words, but it was something to that effect. Was Jodie Foster his trigger? Then, if you want to believe that Tyler Robinson was the person that killed Charlie Kirk, there's evidence that he's at Dairy Queen a few hours after the fact. Because nothing I would think about killing a high-profile individual and then going and have a blizzard afterwards. The sad thing is we never know the truth. That's how conspiracy theories and shows like this are born, because I think we're past the point of believing the things that we're told. They make it seem so simple that this kid just decided to kill Charlie Kirk all of a sudden. You even have the Kavanaugh. This has been on the news lately. His would-be assassin was just sentenced to like 8 years in prison for attempting to kill Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh. Now, people are upset. Oh, I can't believe I got 8 years because he's trans and blah, 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 whatever. I don't care. But, I mean, that's another aspect. This transvestite shit. Is it a situation where these kids are seeing psychiatrists because of their mental... I mean, I don't care what you say. Transvestitism, whatever it is a mental problem. Are they being suggested or having suggestions put into their head? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. But it does make me wonder that if you, and I talked about when I originally did this show yesterday, I brought up a point of algorithms on different social media apps, and I'm mainly focusing on, say, TikTok and like Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat. I don't get on there, but I do get on TikTok. And interestingly enough, that has kind of fallen. My algorithm has fallen out of sequence, because a lot of what I used to see was anti-Israel, not the people, but the leaders. So, obviously, we know the story there. I talked about it the other day. But Larry Ellison's in the process of purchasing American TikTok. He also owns Oracle, which for the last 2 years has had TikTok's servers on its cloud. So, Oracle already knows the algorithms and what people are watching. So, surely over the past 2 years, they've already figured out a way to adjust the algorithm. Thus, the automatic instant purchase of this company. Interestingly enough. And you can't help but wonder. So I tried. I was like, I'm going to get on TikTok. And I'm just going to scroll. So the way these algorithms, if you're unaware, the way these things work are this. You watch a video on TikTok, whatever that video is. If you watch the video through its entirety, you are tagged to that algorithm. And then you'll notice that the next, 10, 20 videos that you watch, at least half of those are going to be around the same idea. It might not be the same person, but it's going to be the same idea. So out of curiosity, I stumbled upon some videos of some of these different individuals that do good deeds. They're in a shopping center, they're in a grocery store, and they're giving someone some money, or they're paying for their groceries, or they give them tickets to a baseball game or basketball game or whatever. And then all of a sudden, my algorithm is full of these videos. And most of these videos that you see on TikTok make you feel some way. If it's something like that, you're watching these videos, and maybe you're drinking a little whiskey, and you start feeling some sort of way, thinking, man, I wish I could do more to help people like that. It sucked me in. That's the whole point. You might get stumbled upon videos that are comical, whether it's comedians or like Justin Nunley or those types of videos, and you're like laughing and you feel good and you're like, that's funny, and then you want more of that. Well, for a while there, my algorithm was full of flat earth, moon landings fake, the Gaza situation, what really happened on October 7th. That stuff's all gone. That stuff, it's gone. I'm telling you, it's gone. I'm not saying if I searched it, maybe it would be there. But as far as it falling into my algorithm, it's gone. So they're doing this on purpose. I mean, I'm sure it's not just some person sitting behind a computer saying, oh, look at this. Don's looking at this. Let's make sure he doesn't see it anymore. And we're going to show him, stupid pet videos or whatever. It's not necessarily a person, it's AI, it's the computers. It's what the computers are being programmed for us to see. I used to be a very staunch proponent of TikTok a few years ago when they were talking about banning it. Not necessarily because I have, 5,000 followers on TikTok and I'm going to try and make some money off of TikTok. I mean, I don't have time. I barely have time to do this show, let alone post videos. But I saw it as a truth situation. And I made this example a few years ago that if you go on TikTok and search a certain subject, whether it was the riots that were going on in Paris at the time, or the farmers that were protesting in the Netherlands, and some of you guys might not even know what the hell I'm talking about, and that's my point. But if you searched it on TikTok, you would see what was really going on in those areas. But if you went on, say, Instagram and searched those same things, and it was simple, you could just put Paris in TikTok and you would see the riots. You go on Instagram, put Paris, you see pictures of the Eiffel Tower and people eating, croissants at the bistro or whatever. You type in the Netherlands, you see the farmers protesting that was going on. You do it on Instagram, you see windmills and fields and tulips and people in wooden shoes and shit like that. And that's because Facebook, which owns Instagram, already dialed up the algorithms to get you away from what you thought you were going to see. You might be like, oh, I heard on Don't Tread on America that there's riots going on in Paris. Let me go on Facebook or go on Instagram or whatever and see what I see. Or even Twitter back then. You didn't see shit. Now, our last bastion of some sort of freedom of speech or freedom of viewing opportunities is Twitter. But you even had Netanyahu, when this whole TikTok thing was going through, mention X. So I feel like in the next 30 days, it's a little less than that now. I think by the end of October, when this TikTok thing goes through, and Larry Ellison actually owns TikTok, who also is, by the way, the largest private donor to the IDF. is now going to control everything you see, and they're already doing it. Even though he doesn't own the American version of TikTok, he owns the cloud of the information that you see on TikTok. What's going to happen when it's 100%? Then I feel like you're going to see them go after Twitter. I would not be surprised if you don't see this, because I think in the grand scheme of things, I guess it'll be a situation where we'll know exactly how pro-freedom of speech or pro-American Elon Musk is. Because, I mean, what did he purchase Twitter for? Like $40 billion, something like that? Probably overpaid, whatever. Do you think if Larry Ellison or whoever offered him $40 billion where he could make his money back, that he wouldn't take it and so he wouldn't have to deal with it anymore? Or would he not take it to continue on with what Twitter is? Possibly. Or will he be offered in such an absorbent amount over what he originally paid for it? Okay, you paid 40, we'll give you 80 or whatever. And he might be like, yes, I'm out. But we'll know a lot more in the next coming weeks because we'll see this happen in real time. But I'll be curious to see, as these same situations that are going on, and when we talk about mass shootings now, like I referenced some school shootings and stuff, those could be random events. Those also could be a Manchurian type situation where the perpetrators of these events at high schools and whatever, these mass shootings are triggered onto a point to create chaos and create division. And like this whole talk, like my wife again today, is the government still closed? What are we doing here? So now it's getting to the point where people are going to start losing their jobs. People are going to start possibly losing benefits. Now, it's interesting because my wife has a friend who is, and has a different way of thinking of things than we do. And of course, this is all Trump's fault. And I said to my wife, I said, is Trump a senator? Is Trump voting on this? I mean, right now I'm not the biggest fan of Trump, so I'm not even going to sit here and try and make an argument for him. But there is a lot to ask here. Why is this happening? I mean, granted, we do this. It seems like every other year we have this same situation. But it does make you wonder if this isn't a way to doge people without doging people. Now, I go on vacation next week. We fly out on Sunday, a week from yesterday. So I'd be curious to see if we're going to have delays because of TSA or because of flight controllers. I don't know. Hopefully that's not the case. But I feel there's a lot more to all of this than we're being told. And is it just another way to have us fall into an algorithm of division? Because you might feel one way, your friend might feel another way. And even if you could sit there and say, well, this isn't really, how could this be Trump's fault? He's just the president. He's not voting on these things. It's the Congress, it's the Senate, it's these people. But you feel like there's probably somehow or another that there's some kind of involvement from both sides of the aisle. But it's not because they disagree with each other, because guess what? They're still getting paid. The government shuts down. Congress is still making their money. The people that work for them, they're still getting paid. They're picking on the little people that work within the government. So it's just a way to get people angry. And if you feel one way and these people feel another way, you're going to have conflict. You have so much diversity of thoughts in this country based on the ICE situations throughout the country, or Trump wanting to take in the National Guard into these different cities to help with crime. Now, my personal feelings on that is it is kind of obtrusive. I think if you have a president, whoever your president is, that allows the military to go into these cities to quote unquote help out, it does have a bad look to it. Now, my thought process is there's got to be a better way to do that. I don't have the answers, but it's a way to cause more division. This is the whole game plan. I don't care who the president is, whether they're a Republican, a Democrat, whoever's running the House or the Senate, whatever branch, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, I don't care. Because in the grand scheme of things, guys, they're all in it together. And I've said this time and time again. The whole point to all of this, to be on different social media apps, you're arguing with people. To be face-to-face with people, you're arguing with people because you feel one way, they feel one way. And until everybody in this country can just open their eyes and realize that I'm not the enemy, you're not the enemy, your friend, your co-workers, your neighbors, they're not the enemy. They're all stuck in a system of what they're being told, whether it's through social media, whether it's through mainstream media on the TV, whether you're watching Fox or CNN or MSNBC. Because, oh, by the way, Larry Ellison purchased CBS. He's trying to purchase CNN. Fox is a part of this TikTok deal. They're all in it together, guys. Because if Fox can make you believe this side and CNN or CBS can make you believe this side and social media adds to that whole situation, and no matter what you watch, how many times you've talked to, hey, did you see the news the other day that so-and-so said something? I don't really watch the news. Well, where do you get your news from? Oh, I'm on Twitter. Oh, I'm on TikTok. Oh, I'm on this. Oh, I'm on that. Well, it doesn't matter where you're getting your news from, whatever side of the aisle, who's telling you what, because then you're just going to have some random influencer that's going to make you believe that this side is right and the other side is wrong. Then someone's going to feel some sort of way because Charlie Kirk is doing whatever, and maybe they get triggered to do something. Or it could be that this Tyler Robinson is a very much an Oswald character in this play. Like I said a month ago when all this happened. Thomas Crooks, the alleged gunman who shot at Trump in Butler, PA. We don't know anything about this guy. Dude was killed. Crime scene was washed, much like the Charlie Kirk situation. And we only know what we're being told. And that's it. Crooks is the guy. He's the person that did it. He's dead. Story's over. Tyler Robinson's the guy. The story's over. But now you're starting to see evidence that maybe he wasn't the guy. Maybe that bullet came from another part of the area that they were in. Maybe he wasn't on the roof. Oh, we have pictures of him walking up the stairs. Okay, where's the gun? Maybe, assuming that was actually him going up the stairs, maybe he was triggered into doing that. Not because he had a gun, not because he was going up there to shoot anybody, but because they needed that story to be told. Well, you could see him running across the top of the roof and he jumps off the side of the building. Where was his gun? Oh, he disassembled it. Have you ever tried to take apart a 30-06, especially one that's like 100 years old? It's not an easy task. When I built my sniper rifle, which is a 300 Win Mag, it took a minute. It's not a collapsible. It's not something you can just break down. I mean, they do sell guns like that, but usually those types of guns don't have that kind of firing power. I'm pointing up because it's up here above me. You don't just break those guns apart. And if we want to believe the story that you didn't see him take the gun up to the roof via the steps because he had the gun broke down, it was in a backpack. Okay, plausible. But if you know anything about shooting guns and you disassemble and reassemble a rifle, even if you had that thing dialed in perfect prior to disassembly, you mean to tell me he was able to assemble the gun and still have dead-on accuracy? No, I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. But they lie that in front of you because most people in America believe it. It's a believable story. And that's the whole point to all of this. Every single person in this country, whether you're on social media or not, you watch the news, you're gaining information from somewhere. If you're not on social media, that's fine. You're gaining information from somewhere. There's not many of us that's walking around this country just clueless. Maybe you don't watch any mainstream media. Maybe you're not on social media, but you listen to podcasts. You listen to this show. You listen to whoever else. And if any of those other people are, like, in my opinion, I guess it's easy for me to say I'm not a propagandist. I don't do this. I'm just a regular dude voicing my opinions, and you guys listen to it. I'm not getting paid a fucking penny to do this. The ones I question are the ones that are getting rich off of podcasting, not just making a living. I'm talking getting rich off of this. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. It's not easy to just become a podcaster and make a shit ton of money unless someone's paying you a shit ton of money. And most of these people that you see, outside of, say, like the Joe Rogans or the news personalities that have podcasts, like the Glenn Becks or people on Fox or CNN or whatever that have podcasts. Outside of those people, like Ben Shapiro, but who was Ben Shapiro 10 years ago? You see what I'm saying? These people came from somewhere and got built up to this big name. Well, look at Joe Rogan. Okay, Joe Rogan is a comedian, an actor, a philanthropist. He was Joe Rogan before he was Joe Rogan Podcast. And I'm not even, stroking him off here because I don't even listen to Joe Rogan. Not that I don't want to listen to Joe Rogan, I just don't. But I like to listen to the podcasts like this, that just regular people that have ideas and thoughts in their perspective, whether you agree or don't agree. But I don't get mad if I listen to another podcast and I don't quite agree with what they're saying. I don't want to go fucking kill somebody because of it. I listen to what they have to say, and then maybe it makes me think a little bit more. Oh, why is that person saying that? Maybe it makes me want to inquire a little bit more. And that's all I ever want you guys to do, is to inquire a little more. Then what I want you to do is talk to me about it. And it's simple. There it is. It's a simple situation of all you need to do is email the show. DontTreadonMerica.com. Go to the email is donq at DontTreadonMerica.com. You can go to the website, Don't Tread America. You can reach me there. And if you are on social media, you can reach me on all those platforms. Just follow the show. And like I said before, guys, if you're not on social media and you're not doing these things, that's fine. I don't care, because I understand. But you are listening to the show on some app, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, Samsung Free, Podchasers. I don't know them all. We're everywhere. Pandora. If any of those apps have the ability for you to rate this show, if you can leave a review, give me a 5-star rating, please do so, because this show is very much suppressed. This show is very much shadow banned, and I need you guys to help me out in the algorithm, so to speak. Not that I care to make thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars doing this. I just want the word to get out, and that's basically all I care about, is getting this out. So with that being said, guys, I will be on vacation next week. I'm going to get this show. Hopefully nothing happened while I was recording it. I'm going to do another show probably Wednesday, and I'm also going to record 2 shows for when I'm gone. Other than that, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.